श्याम जय राम जय जय राम। Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. In the dialogue that had happened in Papa's mind, questionnaire and the answers, everything came from within. This sort of communion with God, preceded by the necessary preparation. This is a very important word. The communion with God preceded by necessary preparation enables many of the fundamental questions getting answers from within. Please think about it. It is not a question by A and answer by B. It is purely an inward journey where the question arises and the answer also is given. Just like in the outpourings we termed it as the higher mind and the lower mind and the witness. Here the sense of individuality and the power behind the sense of individuality, these are the two factors that were having the dialogue. Dialogue between the power behind everything and the sense of individuality. But if these questions have to come, some preparations have to be made. We now take it that this is a corollary, this is a continuation of inquest of God. So during the inquest of God, the sense of individuality was trained by the Lord to become submissive and made to accept every situation calmly, cheerfully, by which act the self-surrender was almost evident in every episode. There was nothing he named it as negative. Everything positive was there. Contentment was there. Acceptance was there. Me and mine, to a very, very, very great extent, it has not appeared at all. And moreover, the sense of individuality knew that every moment it is being put on test. And the trust in him, T-R-U-S-T. The trust in God by the sense of individuality, by the trust in the indwelling God by the sense of individuality was total. With that background, when we sit, all these fundamental questions are raised for further clarification. Because we found in the outpourings that there are still certain things at the subtle level to be cleared. Though at the gross level, there was absolutely nothing to call as negative or dirt in Papa's dealing with men and matters. Still, through his own words, we came to know that still the journey is not over. At the subtle level, certain impurities and inadequacies were there. And that is why he continued the sadhana. something like 99.99 has come, but still that's 0.1. So at the feet of God, we can take it. These are all our own inferences because Papa has not said anywhere like this. But the more why these questions have not come to us? First of all, have we trained to go in for communion with Him? This is the first question. We all attend Ramnam sessions, bhajans, once in a way, darshan or satsang, whatever is possible at our physical level. We try to lead a righteous life, simple life as much as possible. But beyond that, no. We are leading a righteous life, no doubt about it. We don't tell lies, we don't take away somebody's property, we don't desire for something else. We have ambitions in life, but we struggle. We would like to have minimum security, so we try for that, acquire that, and lead. And rest of the time, we chit chat with others, we spend some, whatever that makes our life, mind happy. We involve in that. But certainly, intentionally, we don't harm anybody, we don't want to take away anything from anybody. By ourselves, we don't go and offend anybody. Of course, we offend others by reacting to events and individuals. Some maladjustments are still there. But the question is, even at the end of this chapter, Lord is warning us, even if the Rajas and Tamas is controlled, and even if the Sattva is tamed, never take it as granted that you have reached. You have to be alert. Mere vigilance is not sufficient for this purpose. Then how could self-knowledge be attained? There is only one way, and that is bhakti. Even if you imbibe sattva, vanquish your ego and give up attachment to the fruit of action, you shall continue to be vulnerable on the onslaught of rajas and tamas from time to time, so long as you are saddled with this body. You may for a while think that you have conquered rajas and tamas. This is what we are arriving at. Normally, we all lead a righteous life. But that is not the one, that is not anywhere near the goal. At the moment, we are satisfied with that. Clearly, he says, you may for a while think that you have conquered rajas and tamas, but they will return again and again with a vengeance. You must therefore be ever alert. As the sea rushes in to encroach the land, the waves of rajas and tamas dash against the mind and make inroads into it. They should never be allowed to do so. Vigilance should not slacken even for a moment. See? So all these discussions, hearing, everything is alright, but vigilance should be there. Whenever I cross the Lakshman Rekha. So for that we should have some basic idea about how rajas works, how tamas works, how sattvic works. Today, yesterday we had some idea about it. Lethargic attitude, idleness, postponing, procrastinating, like that. It all expression of tamas, always negative approach, pessimistic, dull. And when the rajas works, overactive, hyperactivity, putting our heads in everything and never making anything perfect. We create a mess everywhere. We may not know. And then we don't reach anywhere also. At the end of the day, when you retire, there is no sense of fulfillment, but only a profession of incompleteness. And because of that, we lose temper. Our human relationship gets strained. There is a subtle craving for name, fame, power, status, position. And then what about sattva? Sattva, of course, does not have all these things. But sattva also has to be tamed, because the moment you become aware of the sattvic guna, you don't become sattva. That is a tricky situation there. So that is why they say gunatita. Vinobaji puts it in a different way. Sattva and rajas we cannot compromise. We have to be alert. We should not allow it to step in. Rajas and tamas. And when it comes to the sattva, he says, it may arrogate. I am having these sattvic qualities. So at that time, he says, just like to disperse the crowd, people shoot below the waist. They don't kill him. So we don't kill the sattvic qualities, but we wound it. No, it will not. It will know. So that means we have to be ever alert. The moment we become aware of the sattvic qualities, we are not sattvic. Pride comes, annoying. Sense of superiority comes. That is why it is ruled out, gunati. So with all this, I have control. Still, there is a guarantee? No. Bhagavad Gita clearly says, as the sea rushes in to encroach the land, the waves of rajas and tamas dash against the mind and make inroads into it. They should never be allowed to do so. Vigilance should not slacken even for a moment. And it must also be borne in mind that danger continues to lurk in the background despite all the vigilance so long as there is no self-knowledge, no self-realization. It must therefore be attained at any cost. How to do that? Bhakti. You may conquer rajas and tamas, become steadfast in sattva, and make renunciation of the fruit, but still this is not enough to attain self-knowledge. And there is no redemption without self-knowledge. The grace of the Lord is essential for this purpose. Through loving devotion, we should make ourselves worthy of it. I see no other way. Arjuna asked the same question at the end of this chapter, and the Lord answered, be devoted to me with mind absolutely one-pointed and without any desire for reward. Serve me. He who serves me thus can cross the Maya. Otherwise, this mysterious Maya is hard to cross. This is the easy way to bhakti, and this is the only way. And how this, because, a little, the genesis of these three gunas, a little help. We don't know. It might help. The Lord elaborately discusses in Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, that Prakriti, my womb is the great Prakriti. In that I place the gem. And he says that Sarvayonishu Kaunteya, whatever forms are produced, O son of Kunti, in all the womb the great Prakriti is their womb, and I am the seed-giving father. Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavandya Tasam Brahma Mahadyoni Aham Bija Pradappidaha. Whatever forms are produced, O son of Kunti, in all the womb, the great Prakriti is their womb, and I am the seed giving. Okay, then. And through these two, the whole universe comes into being. A combination of Prakriti and Purusha. We can say, Prakriti is the dynamic aspect, Purusha is the static aspect. All the manifestations are coming out of Prakriti. And the one behind the Prakriti is the power, Purusha. In a way, Prakriti is a projection of Purusha. And this Prakriti is constituted of these three. O mighty armed one, Sattva Rajas Tamas, born of Prakriti, bind the immutable embodied being to the body. So what is it that I am attached to my body so much? It's very important, right? Now we understand why Papa has brought this in at the feet of God. First page itself is, in the first lot itself, he brings out the Sattva Rajas Tamas. You are wondering why. Because this is the base. This is the base. Prakriti, Purusha, the power behind it, and the raw material. Okay, the material cause and the efficiency cause. These put together, the entire creation comes out. And then I become an individual. I feel I am an individual. What is it that, in spite of knowing, in spite of doing Ramnam, in spite of doing bhajan, in spite of having the darshan, in spite of having satsang, in spite of reading so much swadhyaya, in spite of having so many pradhas, still I am attached to my body, Everything is alright provided the body is not touched. Blunt, say whatever it may. So this attachment to the body, whether he is a sannyasi or whether he is a ordinary man, whether he is a pamara or a pandita, literate or illiterate, so only those who have crossed this, Day for yesterday we were sharing one anecdote in Gandhiji's life. In Sevagram Ashram, every day there is an evening prayer. So one day when everybody assembled, it was must be about 6:30 or something like that. And many of you might know, might not know that Sevagram is also a village area. And on those days, in Gandhiji's days, it was a raw village. So at that particular time, a cobra was seen just coming towards the congregation. Everybody, even today, is afraid. On those days, definitely, because today there are so many ways by which we know something about cobra. Cobra can be snake catchers are there. We can leave them at snake park. So many things are there. Even in ashram. Previously, everybody will kill the moment. But my life is sacred, When you compare the snake and me, precious, my. When a insect comes, immediately whether it will harm me. Everything is related to my word. I may not know, but this is what is happening. So there, slowly it was coming. Gandhiji made, they make such a big fuss, So Gandhiji made them through science to keep quiet. So tense moments. Just crawling, slowly just crying, coming. And Gandhiji was half dressed only. Only the lion's cloth is there. Slowly the cobra went there. It was moving towards his thigh. It placed itself on the thigh. There was pause moment. Gandhiji was only chanting Ram Ram. It quietly came out. without any fuss, it disappeared. Now, why we remember this? Gandhiji had reached such a stage where, he did not feel insecurity or fear, because the attachment to the body certainly had been reduced. Otherwise, it cannot come. Same thing had happened in Papa's case also in a cave. We will find it in the vision of God. Even in Quest of God, we found, he was staying in dense forest where wild elements are there. He did not feel. So what does it mean? Feeling the fearness. Fearness comes because, my attachment to the body is precious. So that is why he wants to bind the embodied being to the body. These gunas, why do we have to go gunatita? This is a very important point. We all conveniently keep it aside, seeing things as a technical term. I should be unnecessarily bothered about that. We have to bother, because every moment our body consciousness. Now you remember Mataji was telling about this Dehabuddhi. How many times she has repeated this? Unless we move away from the Dehabuddhi, we will not be able to progress. We don't know how to move away from the... There is no technique, because it is so much with me. I means I am the body, 100%. I may say I am above the body, but the moment something comes, immediately I am back to me. So that is why the gunas the study of the gunas are very important, because they are the one who bind me to the body. O mighty armed one, the Lord says to Arjuna, Guna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, born of Prakriti, bind the immutable embodied being to the body. Sattvam, Rajas, Tama, iti, Guna, Prakriti, Sambhava, Nibaddanti Mahabaho, Dehe, Dehinam, Avyayam. Dehe, Dehinam, Avyayam. Three gunas are there, which are Prakriti Sambhava, born of Prakriti. Here one more aspect is there. Kindly think about it. Prakriti Sambhava. In Malayalam, we say Prakriti Angaya. If Prakriti is like that, means the Swabhava is like that. So there are two aspects. One thing is my original Swabhava, and the other one is to correct the Swabhava. God has given us this. God has given me cravings, infatuation, this and that. At the same time, God has given me the capacity to control. If we don't make use of the faculties to do that, we become a slave to the gunas. Prayatna and Prakriti, both are there. The higher mind and the lower mind. The two ladders, you remember? Two ladders in the cave. One going towards the higher and one taking us down. No? So this we should be very good. Just because I read Bhagavad Gita, just because I happen to be in Ananda Ashram, just because I would have seen lot of Mahatmas, just because I have done this, I have done that, I have done that. No. What have I done? My living with them is okay. My chanting is with them okay. What happens to me? Whether I am still under the threshold of the gunas. So that is why he says, Nibaddanti. It's the human being controlled in bondage. Then he starts analyzing these three. What is Sattva, what is Rajas, and what is Tamas? Very briefly. O sinless one, Sattva, because of being pure, is luminous, harmless. It binds by attachment to happiness and by attachment to knowledge. Sattva is pure, stainless. It binds the human being through attachment to happiness. Sattvic person, we have seen many, Sattvic person. That means he may not be aggressive, he may not be, he'll be friendly with everybody, no doubt. He doesn't know how to offend others. All those things are there. That is his priority. But that is not enough. It also binds. And what is Rajas? Giving rise to trust and attachment. And then Tamas, stupefying. Yesterday we had elaborated sleep, lethargy. And each one, suppose we allow, it predominates. That is the problem. A Sattvic man will suddenly become highly Rajasic, highly Tamasic. This is the risk involved. Immediately after the chanting session, many of you might have experienced or seen. Somebody jumps at us, Even in Bhajan hall, we say, we make such a big sound. That means what? Your mind has been thinking about what others are doing now. Unknowingly. So, we have to be very greed, activity, the undertaking of action, unrest, longing. These arise when Rajas is predominant. Darkness, inertness, miscomprehension, delusion, these arise from when Tamas is predominant. And Lord Krishna also says, what happens when I die, when the Rajas is predominant in me, when I die, when the Tamas is predominant in me, when I die, when the Sattva is predominant in me. It is all carried over. So not only that, if I am careless in this birth, it is going to keep on tracking me, even in my next. For example, when one dies when Rajas predominates, he or she is born among those attached to action. Similarly, dying in Tamas, he or she is born in the wombs of irrationals. The fruit of good action, they say, is sattvic and pure. Verily, the fruit of Rajas is pain. Ignorance is the fruit of Tamas. From Sattva arises wisdom. From Rajas, greed, miscomprehension, delusion, ignorance, and ignorance arise from Tamas. The Sattva abiding go upwards, Rajasic dwell in the middle, Tamasic abiding in the function of the lowest go downwards. So the embodied one, and he also lists, the Lord, and somebody asked, how do I know that I have become Gunatita? So elaborately he explains. He or she who is sitting like one unconcerned is moved not by the gunas, who knowing that gunas operate is self-established, serves not. He or she who is alike in pleasure and pain. Samadukka sukhasvastha samaloštanya kanchana tulya priya apriyo dhiraha tulya nindatma samstati. He or she who is alike in pleasure and pain, self-abiding, who regards a clod of earth, a stone and a gold alike, who is same to agreeable and disagreeable events, who is wise and same in ensure and praise. All these we have read in Chitta Prajna, we have read in 12th chapter, how to become a dearest devotee of God. So all these questions are again, Manapamanayo Tulyaha. Mitra Hari Apavashi. He or she is said to have gone beyond the gunas, who is same in honor and disgrace, same friend and foe, who has relinquished all undertakings. Sarvaramba Parityagi. Gunatita Sarvachate. So as spiritual aspirants, we should also know all these things. We have to watch, whether we are developing these traits in us. Then only we will be able to cross over the boundaries of this Dehabuddhi. Though it has got only 27 slokas, now when Papa makes a mention about these three gunas in this book, we find now, just like it is, we have to go through intensely, watch ourselves, where are we now? We should be able to dispassionately see the three gunas dancing in us, influencing us. When do I become tamasic? When do I become rajasic? When do I become sattvic? Which is predominating? How will I know? The way in which I react to events and individuals. The way in which I react to events and individuals. Because this is very important. Very, very important. Can we see God? Yes, we can see Him in His works. In His manifestation, He pervades all. There is no place where He is not. Every object is none other than He. Question. If God is one, why does He appear in different names and forms? One has appeared as many for the working of His Leela or play. What underlies the appearance of many? The quality is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The objects appear different accordingly as any one of these qualities is predominant in it. Same word in Bhagavad. The quality, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the objects appear different accordingly as any one of these qualities is predominant in it. Question. What relation do these qualities bear to our complete resignation to the will of God? Answer. In the condition of perfect resignation to the will of God, the devotee rises above the three qualities and becomes essentially divine. He becomes a mere instrument in the hands of the Almighty God. He then fulfills the work of God. He is made to exist only for that purpose. Truly, he is then the incarnation of God itself. So the first portion in the talks with mother and her solution to the child's difficulties. Papa brings in this. So he gives us these thoughts. The fundamental questions should come and you should get clarity on this. And if you are prepared well, if the prerequisites are okay, you will get the answer also. But the question and answer have come from the same source. But if the question has to come first, I should do the preparation. That is why probably all these questions have never come to us. We have not gone to the fundamentals. Questioning why am I so much attached to the so-called, I know that I don't exist if God is not there. I am chanting the name of one to know, to be always in his remembrance. Everything, is clear, rationally clear, intellectually clear. But the moment the session is over, or even during the session, suddenly the fan goes, the fan, electricity goes. We are disturbed. Why? The equipment is primarily concerned about the care and concern and comfort and safety of the body. Papa says, crystallized definition. We may think, when we go through or when we take part in all these things, we are above. Certainly not. That's a small test, that is enough. Slight salt is not there in the dish. No? Or the sugar is not there in the coffee or tea. But you would have forgotten. How would the reaction come? You can take, but how about, suppose you are, salary. So somebody will ask, but it is sugar. That's okay. You say, you have forgotten to put, we can make a big mess out of it. Adi chapter, taste. A small incident, we can see which is predominant in us. If sattva is predominant in us, we will be able to accommodate it. This is, we have that, probably while putting it, they wanted to ensure that it is not over. So in that process, it has become less, that's all. You have to add little, that's all. So sattva becomes, though the body level attachment is there, the predominance of sattva enables you not to act violently. So like this, we keep on watching. So the fundamentals, those who are having Gita textbooks of anybody, kindly go through this 14th chapter. Because now we find, so far we have not given importance to this, unknowingly. We were concentrating on chapter number 2, chapter number 3, but never gave so much of importance to this. And this is the one which glues with my body, in spite of my knowledge. I cannot detach it. I know everything, but I am unable to. Any slight disturbance to my body, bodily comforts, bodily threat, body security, I am disturbed. Not only comforts. So the greatest hurdle which all of us are facing is this sense of this body consciousness. And here it is clearly mentioned. That is how God has created. This Prakriti, though He is the Father, He is the Pita, He is the Pita, who has placed the seed in the womb of Prakriti. Still, I am unable to understand that because these three things bind me to my body. So we have to do some serious manana on this. And pray to Him. We cannot get over. That is why at the end, He says, I think in the Bhagavad Gita also it must have come. Prayer is the only way. And he or she who serves me with unswerving devotion, having gone beyond the gunas, is fitted for becoming one with Brahman. He or she is said to have gone beyond the gunas, who is same in honor and disgrace, same to friend and foe, and who has relinquished all undertakings. A perfect man or woman will simply do things as they come. A perfect man or woman will simply do things as they come. he or she does not run after doing things. Whatever comes to him or her, he or she does that because he or she does not need more than what is needed to preserve the body. Gunatita uchate. Such persons are known as Gunatita, beyond the three gunas. The external pressure from the world do not condition them. They have become unconditioned by this. They have become free, and that is the goal of human life. This human being, shaken by nature and its forces all the time, slowly develops a certain inner strength to resist all this, and then develops an equanimous mind and finally goes beyond all of that. That is called Gunatita. Everybody has the possibility of becoming a Gunatita. But it comes after a very long struggle. And it is good to begin this struggle, gain initially at least 5 to 10% of this great capacity. So from today onwards, now onwards, we have to start observing ourselves and find out our own barometer, find our own, where are we now. These three are there in us, that everybody knows. But the limit, whether they are 30%, whether they are 40, 30 and 30, whether they are 50, 25, degree. We have to enter. This is a very important. All our spiritual disciplines, all our sadhanas must be there to know where we are. This is what Papa talks about, self-evaluation. These three gunas. Now it has been shortlisted to 3 gunas now. Easy for us to understand. Whether it is that, suppose, we get up and go. We have almost reached the doorstep. We saw the mat, and I thought we'll come and do it later now. Immediately we have to tell that, no. The mat has to be kept where it is to be kept and how it is to be kept. It has served its purpose. So the dullness will not be there. Postponing will not be there, no? And too many activities. And craving for name, fame, power, position, status. In the subtle level, gross level, none of us will be having it. 100%. But the subtle level, it is there. So the Sattva Tamo Guna, which Papa is now dealing in the first portion of the dialogue, it assumes great importance. So every one of us has to do some real homework with the help of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Kindly go through that 14th chapter, only 27 slokas are there. Every saint, every commentator must have definitely dealt with it. It is directly dealing with our life. So Papa here, in Papa, Mother says that is the one. Why it is different? Why it looks different? It is because of the qualities. The objects appear different according as any one of these qualities is predominant in. What underlies the appearance of many? Sattva, Tamas. And when we go through the Sattva, Tamas, we find that it is the one that is binding me with the body. In spite of knowledge, in spite of hearing, in spite of everything. The other day, somebody was telling us, see, Papa's life itself gives us all these answers. He met Ravana Bhagavan. He was inspired. In next 2-3 days, for the first time, he was prompted to go for solitude. And for 1 month, he was in solitude. Either during this solitude period or after the solitude period, he did not crave for the darshan of Ravana Bhagavan. Later on, whenever he writes about Bhagavan, we can see, the reverence the Papa has for him. Unlimited. So here, no, it's not attachment. No? Even at that particular moment, he was not attached to the form. He was attached to the ideal. He did not ask anything, he only prayed. Blessing, your blessing, that's all. Please bless me, that's all, in my pursuit. Nothing more, nothing less. So how the gunas were slowly becoming subservient in him, we find that, when the ticket inspector came, when you are asked to get down, when you are asked to sit, when the policeman came, so many things, Now we see whether the Rajas and Tamas and Sattva, whether it was dancing like in anybody's mind. But to what extent he had tamed them, or to what extent God has made him to discipline in him. Then he pushed him. He pushed him when he knew that yes, this equipment is fit to be away, fit to rise above the body level. He was pushed on 27th December 1922, and successfully he completed the test, everything. We have not found anywhere this Rajas or Tamas dominating there. Think about it, the importance of this Gunadita. Not getting attached at all to anything. Because in Rajas, the thing is attached. He goes to Tirupati, not possible, it's alright. So that means the Deha Buddhi is, we are very now clear, Deha Buddhi is controlled by Sattva Rajas Tamas. And he was able to go beyond that. So he was above the Deha Buddhi. When Swami Govindananda protested that somebody, Sadhuram is touching his body while he was sleeping, immediately he was asked not to disturb him. When the boys made some comment, just go through that one by one. So this Gunadita, he was showing that in there. Mana apamana yoho. All these qualities were there. So that means, to such a person, again for clarity, God makes him to bring out these things. We are unable to do it because we have not done the preliminaries. Our mind may be telling us that we have gone through preliminaries, we have completed high school education, we are only to do some graduation. Now we know, no. In many subjects, we are still at the LKG level. In some subjects, we may be at the school level or college level. So this particular portion touches and kindles so many things in us. Very important aspect of these three gunas. And three gunas attach me to the body. Now everybody will become aware now. With all this background, 3:30, 4:30 session, Ram Nam session, 11 times reading session, bhajan session, everything is there. Still, what happens to me? Have I been able to, at least, I may not be able to get out of the bindings thoroughly. But as Venkatanathji said, 5 to 10% whether I have gained. But it comes after a very long struggle. Whatever it is to be done, he or she does it very well.
We can say one, when we are in the sun or doing Ramana or reading some books, we are in the Sattva. If we miss them, the chances of coming down is very easy. when you are chanting Nam, like that.
Otherwise we will not sit. Otherwise we will not even sit for that session. The very fact that we are sitting for the session and taking part gives us little comfort that we are somewhere near the Sattva at least. No,
we are Sattva. We are Sattva.
No, at that time I just keep quiet. Just imagine. Who are you to tell me? We may not know, no. They are sitting in the, we have seen in the Bhajan hall. The beautifully Ramnam was going on, one elderly person was stretching his legs, because some problem will be there. Everybody cannot, hold this. Then somebody calls me and tells me, see, the way which is doing, Ramnam Darshan is going on. According to him, he is showing disrespect to Papa, Whatever it may be. He is not seeing Papa there. This is how so you cannot say that even during this period, we are trying to be. We can see now how minutely these three things enter into us, especially the two things. Sleepy, we feel sleepy. 30 not over. Like that. If you go through that, you will find all these things. So Tamasi is slowly coming. So we can watch ourselves how these three are floating and influencing us. That is why Papa tells first, the stone is also very nice, very important.
Whatever you talk, it is not sufficient.
Not sufficient. Again, yes.
Really, very, very important.
We will do some more thinking about it, based upon our own, because we have got enough from our own life, Our own life, we know enough. Because God has been kind enough now to look back and see, hey, where are you now, man? One part of the mind takes credit of so many things, but the moment you are touched, finished, you give some instruction, somebody doesn't do it, how do you react?
Even Swamiji, during chanting, 7:30, whatever it is, continuous chanting, someone goes out of you.
Easy. Now we have started observing, Now we have started observing. Unknowingly we were doing it and we were satisfied that we have attended the session. Now we know why the session has not gone inside, because the basic principle of this Gunatita has not come to our mind. As he said, this is the every day God is giving us one chance to control, to evaluate, to test. In the midst of my work, I may not be able to control. But in a session like this where nobody is disturbing me, I am to myself, I am passing through this. How do I react to events in individual which I see? When we take the tirtha, suppose one drop goes out, immediately, we become alert and do it. We do not blame others. If you are blaming others, the guna, why can't you do this in a proper way? At least the feeling will be there. Why is it sitting there? After this is over, the asana is not being put back there. Who is to blame is not important. How to set the situation right. Every time, the Deepa go, anything, whatever you do it, when we take the Deepa, go and put this there. Every time when they come for a Deepa, it represents light in me. Please, enable me to see the light inside. Otherwise it is only a ritual, And we put, there will be 3. Tavatraya 3. All these are 3. Then we, this is to remind me of this. This is to remind me of this. I must get rid of this. I must get rid of this. So this I think, as he said, we cannot move to the next page because we have to do a lot of thinking. This is Sattva-Raja-Tama, chapter number 14. We will also try to go through it and again read the whole thing. Yes, we need some more clarity, because this is the one which binds me to my body. Mataji is very particular about it. Deha-buddhi, 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 Deha-buddhi. Deha-abhimana.
Two words.
We thought, we thought we have understood. We were under the honest impression that we have understood when she said about Deha-buddhi and Vishwa-buddhi. We thought, the moment we become universalize everything, automatically this will go. That is a rational way of looking at it. But at the practical way of looking at it, everything is intact. Everything is intact. How do I know? Here he says, beautiful. A perfect man or woman will simply do things as they come. He or she does not run after doing things. Whatever comes to him or her, he or she does that because he or she does not need more than what is needed to preserve the body. Gunatita Sauchade. Such persons are known as Gunatita, beyond the three gunas. The external pressures from the world do not condition them. They have become unconditioned by all these. They have become free, and that is the goal of human life. They have become free. We are not free. This human being, shaken by nature and its forces all the time, slowly develops a certain inner strength to resist all this, and then develops an equanimous mind. And finally, goes beyond all of it. This is called Gunatita. Everybody has the possibility of becoming a Gunatita. There is something for all of us to be happy. Everybody has the possibility of becoming a Gunatita, but it comes after a very long struggle. And it is good to begin this struggle and gain initially at least 5 to 10% of this place of life.
Encouraging something. Just encouraging.
Okay.
They have to.
Otherwise, then we can't move. We can't move an inch. So kindly think about it. This is something now we know why Papa brought us to, made us to.
Very fast.
Very fast. We are not moved. Only the third page. And so the Gunatita. Let us try to watch ourselves. What is happening to me? Chidanji Maharaj used to say, as you progress spiritually, you should also progress at the human level. That is the litmus test. Sitting inside a room for hours together or doing some Purashcharana mantra for a particular time, and then the moment you come out of it, how do you react to events and individuals? That matters. This should be reflected there. My Purashcharana, my Nama chanting, my vows inside, it should be reflected in mine. As somebody beautifully coined, the inner riches must be the basis of your outer poverty. Inner riches. Papa used to say the inner beauty should reveal itself in outer actions. Yeah, something like that. Inner beauty must reveal itself in your outer actions. Outer actions are the field where we can test and find for ourselves whether we are progressing. Otherwise, we may be having our own world, and there won't be any program or progress at all. Remember that Rowing. Rowing, we will take it up tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Now we understand the meaning of that rowing business. So anyhow, we are deeply grateful to Papa now. A dimension which we have not given that much importance. Though we used to say in many slogas, this word, Bhavatitam, Gunatitam. We used to always bring out these words. We have fairly some dictionary knowledge or little knowledge about these three gunas. But we never knew that was the binding force to me and my body, my attachment towards the body. So let us all try our level best. Go through the chapter number 14. Again and again and again we read, not for academic purpose, and look at ourselves, and so that we will be able to gauge for ourselves the degree of these three gunas in us. And the moment, right from the minutest to the grossest, when we start watching us, we will find, oh, this much is dominant in us. So let us all try our level best. We are deeply grateful to Papa for having touched and kindled the vital aspect in this vital dimension. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai